Hi guys, welcome to Refer UX. Today we are going to discuss about one of the very important topic under innovation management, and this topic is really important in order to understand the dynamics happening in the industry that we are going to play. Myself, Nimesh, and let's move with today's topic, which is competitive environment. If you have 5 seconds to answer what do you mean by a competitive environment, I'm pretty sure most of you will come up with an answer called okay, it is the environment that people are fighting with each other, or are the industries are fighting with each other. Yes, true. The competitive environment is according to the definition, is a dynamic external system in which a business competes and functions. Of course, which in simple language, it's the system, or rather, let's say the playground where all the businesses competing with each other. But one beautiful factor of this competitive environment is that when there are more people compete for the same product or service, then the competition is really high. Let's check out some examples to justify the particular statement I just mentioned. For example, if you go to any city, most of the cities in even in Sri Lanka, you can see these kinds of fast food chains in there. You can see McDonald's, you can see Pizza Hut, you can see Domino's, you can see Burger King, you can see KFC, and other than that, you can see even Dynamo. And if you analyze these food chains, they're they're having a product portfolio, let's say it's a set of offerings which are quite similar to each other. For example, Pizza Hut and Domino's competing for same unique product. Burger King and McDonald's, obviously they are competing for one particular product, the burgers. Of course, the KFC come to the playground, and even Burger King, McDonald's, they are offering the same product portfolio that KFC offering sometimes. So in that case, the competition is really high. When the competition is really high, you can see they are offering very interesting offerings. They are conducting very attractive marketing campaigns in order to sustain in the market as well as to grab the customers. Not only in the food industry, when you go to mobile phone industry, you can see many more brands other than the brands mentioned in this particular slide, offering same set of features. Perhaps their pricing is really competitive, really competitive. You can see features equal on these devices or these offerings, or rather these mobiles that they are offering, so that sometimes consumer feels really hard time to make the purchasing decision. Again, when you go to automobile industry, you can see the competition among Toyota and Nissan. Whenever one competitor offers one particular vehicle, you can see the same set of features in the other competitor's brand. And nowadays, the competition is really tough because some high-end brands like Benz, Audi also comes to this mass battle field where Toyota and Nissan were trying to cater, so that the nowadays competition become really tough. All right, with that notation, we can come to the place that, okay, what do you mean by these competitors then? Right. The obvious answer is okay, if the competitive environment is where the industries or the businesses try to fight with each other in order to win the customer, then obviously competitors are the people who are fighting there. Or are the simply the competitors are the people who, or are the industries or businesses who tries to capture the or rather conquer the market, their own market segment. When we further analyze competitors, we can see that there are mainly two types of competitor categories. One is direct competitors. Well, as the name implies, the direct competitor is uh, an entity which sells the same type of product or services, just like you. Oh no, while hearing this statement, there would be one quick answer comes to your mind while reminding previous slides. For example, Burger King versus McDonald's. So they offer same product portfolio, let's say burgers with the same consumer segment and burger-like products or are the fast foods which are more or like same. So they are direct competitors to this in the same market in a given market. On the other hand, the next type of competitors are indirect competitors. Well, unlike direct competitors, these indirect competitors they also compete even though they sell different products or service, but yet they are in the same battlefield. Can you guess an example? For example, just imagine railway transportation system versus airplane or the airplane market or transport system. Obviously, these are two different modes where one mode is on land transportation mode, where the other one, which is aeroplane, is a air-based transportation system. However, marked buyer behaviors or the consumer behaviors in railway system could affect to the business behavior of aeroplane industry. Their schedules, their planning on the railways sometimes could affect the business of aeroplane industry. If you analyze markets like Australia, maybe USA, you can imagine where both have competitive transportation modes where users have fair opportunity of selecting either mode, and selecting one mode could definitely affect the other mode. All right, with that note, we can next move on to the next section, which is called the factors or the parameters affecting this competition. As this particular slide implies, there could be many parameters or the factors that could affect the competition. One of the most famous one could be regulations. Of course, a regulator of a given country is the head table or the uh, standard governance board which decides the rules and regulation to run a particular business. For example, if you get telecommunication industry, Sri Lankan regulator is TRCS, Sri Lanka Telecommunication Regulatory Commission, Sri Lanka. That body governs the frequency plan that we need to use, what are the devices that we can import Sri Lanka and deploy in Sri Lankan market. Those types of regulatory decisions sometimes could affect businesses. Sometimes they decide the next phase of the business. So regulatory body of a particular country could directly affect to the competition of the particular country. Secondly, competencies. Now, this is one of another very important parameter where if you get a sample industry that there's no assurance that a particular industry or rather given industry carries all the competencies that they require, maybe marketing, maybe management, maybe technical, maybe HR, maybe R&D, maybe innovation. There could be many areas that needed to run the business, and in a given company or organization, there's a fair chance that they don't own or they don't have all these types of competencies. In such a scenario, one of the famous business engagement that we can see in this kind of organization or industries, that they are going with the joint ventures, where they first identify, okay, what are their core competencies, so what are they really good at, and they can identify what are for to populate their innovation, to bring their innovative idea to the market. They may require some sort of different competency where they are not competent at all. For example, just imagine you want to launch a new mobile phone, and your organization is really good at programming and the software side of that particular product, but you are not that much good at hardware side. So it's really better, or rather the best move would be if you can jointly work with another organization where they are really good at hardware manufacturing. Then you can combine or you can jointly work and deploy or rather launch this new mobile phone to the market as a joint effort. And that's where competencies come into play. The next one is intellectual property, or rather, in normal acronym would be IP. And this is one of the very important parameter which decides the competition. Well, in organization, IPs or intellectual property is one of the most valuable asset, because nowadays very giants like Apple, Google, Facebook, Amazon, those people having these intellectual or Oracle, they are having their IPs, their own patents, which brings more revenue sometimes than product selling or service selling. And this is one of the bit old report on around 2016. If you analyze one of the top organization in the world and their number of patents that they have obtained. For example, you can see the number one was in 2016 is Amazon, IBM, and their total number of patents is around 8,000 plus. You can see Samsung, second, Canon, Qualcomm, Google, Intel, LG. So and so, you can see Apple, Microsoft, and you can see Amazon. See, as you can see that these giant organizations earn a lot of money because of their intellectual property, and they dominate market because of their intellectual property. Hence, intellectual property of an organization is one of the game-changing factor for the competition. And this is also another proof where from IBM around 2013, their financial report, you can see how much proportion of under intellectual property supports their entire business. And these figures are in millions USD. Millions USD, and you can see, imagine the impact. And also, if we analyze Oracle, Sony, Motorola, they were also they are in that segment where they earn a lot of money, a lot of revenues from their intellectual property. All right. With that note, we can move on to the final segment where the opportunity portfolio, where how an organization could compete based on different levels of risk by using their own assets for their products and services what they have currently. When they do their portfolio development, there are mainly four such parameters that they need that an organization need to consider while devising their opportunity portfolio. First one is what do you obviously their strengths. If you get let's say analyze for analyzing purposes, if you get a product like fiber to the home, let's say FTTH, its strength is obviously providing huge internet speed where normally most of the other internet service providers cannot provide. Minimum of 100 Mbps up to 1000 Mbps nowadays, and that is the strength of this particular product called FTTH. And second thing that you need to consider is what you are going to offer. Obviously, you are going to offer uh, using this fiber to the home technology. You are going to offer immense speed to the customer where they have never been experienced. For example, if you use FTTH, let's say base package of 100 megabits per second, simply you can download a torrent movie within 2 to 3 minutes. And in a country where the average internet download speed is around 25 to 30, if you experience such a huge, if you offer such a huge bandwidth or other internet speed, it's really game changing and really attractive. Second, next you need to consider to whom that you are going to offer. To whom in the sense every organization has their own customer base and they can target for new customer base. So most of the time, a lot of organizations offer new services. For example, if an ISP offering the conventional ADSL product, if they thought of okay offering a new product called FTTH, most of the time their initial offerings would be there for their existing customer base. Plus, they are targeting for the new customers as well. But acquiring new customers is far bit low compared to conversion of existing customers to the new product. Hence, sometimes you need to consider as a final step what would be the consequences. So there could be a worst case scenario that all the existing customers would transfer switch to the new product where you would lose customers for the existing product rather you are acquiring for the new customers. So at most of the times with the other marketing campaigns and all the stuff, new customers also will grow, plus the existing customers will be encouraged to move to the new product offering. So those are the four things that you need to consider when you are devising your opportunity portfolio, where what is your strength, what are you going to offer, whom that you are going to offer, and what will happen after offering that. So in this particular lecture of under a competitive environment, we have discussed about what is the competitive environment, who are the competitors, and what will happen if there are more sellers in the same offering same product, fighting for the same product or service, and competitor types, what are the parameters that governs the competition, and what how to devise, what are the things that we need to consider when we are devising our opportunity portfolio. I think you learn, I believe you learned something out of this particular lesson. If you learned something, please like it and share. And if you haven't subscribed to our Super UX channel yet, to get to know about newly released videos, please click the subscribe button. Till we meet next time, good luck.